Coming up on the Sairaj Kamath show.
From day one of us starting, we have decided that we are doing what is true to us and what we enjoy. It might be selfish, but it is what is genuine for us. So,
I've got ideas in weird situations, like in my 12th board exam, I'm writing and idea clicks in. And most of my exams, that's what I do. I'll be like putting column, the teacher's watching me. A whole weird fellow.
I think March is when the lockdowns happen in 2020. We were in the middle of our tour when all of this news, we were in Kolkata. It was crazy. In Kolkata, we were staying in a hostel and we heard about all of this virus being spread and all of that, and we were panicking. We were like, are we going to get home? What is happening? So
Every time in India, that's the problem. You play. Of course, there are some great crowd we have played before, some amazing crowd. But majority, if they don't understand something in India, they just mock or they put it down.
the longer a band stays together, the more successful it is. That's all there is. The Beatles were knocking on doors for 10 years before they got their first big hit. So any band, if you look at it, they have to stay together for it to be successful.
Hello and welcome to the Sairaj Kamath show. And my guests for today are an amazing Indian fusion band that I've had my eye on ever since I saw them at Bangalore Habba, and their name is Jatayu. Hailing from Chennai, Jatayu blends the past, present, and future of contemporary Indian music by blending the improvisational nature of jazz with the raw energy of rock and the soul of Indian Carnatic music. This fearless mixture, along with their entertaining live performances, has taken them not only to intimate venues and major festivals across India, but to exotic locations around the world like Japan, Thailand, Singapore, and the Reunion Islands, garnering them a devoted international fan base. On the heels of their latest EP, Jewel Tones, I sat down with Jatayu's bandleader Sahib Singh, multi-instrumentalist Shylu Ravindran, and bassist Kashyap Jaishankar to talk about their incredible musical journey so far, conquering the COVID-19 pandemic, how international crowds have responded to them, the inner dynamics and realities of being in a band today, and so much more. If you've ever wondered how some of the best Indian fusion music going today is made, then this is the conversation for you. So, without further ado, here's me with Jatayu. Guys, welcome to the podcast. I am so excited to have you all here. How are you guys doing?
We are great.
Excited
And
to
thanks
be
for
on this
having us.
podcast.
It's lovely to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad we could finally make this happen because, Sahib, I think you and I have been in contact over the past few months to make this happen. But I guess a band of your stature, you're all busy bees and you've got a lot of shows going on.
Yeah, I mean, we have been speaking for a while before we performed at Echoes. I think it's been more than 2 months almost. Um, Ideally, we would have liked to do this in person. The energy in
Yeah.
the room, that's always better. I personally prefer that. But I mean, this is the best we can do now. We were in Bangalore for a short period, and it was a busy period for us as well. We were touring then.
And that too,
So yeah, we
traveling in
couldn't find.
Bangalore is not happening, bro. We are not taking,
Yeah.
we are not driving.
Yeah, so I'm glad we could finally make it happen.
Yeah. The Bangalore travel, I can sympathize because I was on a date last night, and half the date was like aggravation of like being on the streets and driving on the street. I was literally cursing in my car, bro.
Man, you're on top of the world's fifth congested city or something, I guess. Bangalore is, you know.
I think we're top three, to be very honest. I think we're
Yeah.
we're we're definitely in the top three. Like just the motorist etiquette has like gone to the dogs over here. It's really aggravating. I'm waiting for the metro to like come near my place because for some reason my place is the only place where metro connectivity is not here yet.
Mm, it's unfortunate.
So how was the Echoes of Earth show for you guys in Bangalore?
Awesome. We've always wanted to play at Echoes for a really long time. I've been attending the festival as well, and been a huge fan of it. So it was great to finally perform there. The production, the stage, everything was amazing. The crowd, of course, Bangalore crowd is great always. So it was an amazing experience to be there.
Yeah.
I think if there's any festival that matches your vibe to a T, it's Echoes of Earth.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, speaking for myself personally, the last time I saw you guys in Bangalore was when you played the last Bangalore Hubba. Do you remember that?
Yes, of course.
Oh, Bangalore Hubba. Yeah.
That was
We were recently discussing that gig.
Oh, really?
that
What were
The
you discussing
situation
about it?
surrounded it.
that gig
Basically,
is
the
a
things
bit of
around it.
story for us, a bit of a debacle because we two of us were in Kochi and
Oh, that
Shiloh
big as
was
Bangalore Hubba. Oh, yeah.
yeah, Shiloh was in Chennai and Manu was at Sam. That's Pondy. That's like 2.5 hours away from the city, right? Um, so Saib and I were in Kochi and we had to fly back to Chennai and take a train. The four of us would have taken a train to Bangalore that night. And the cyclone ended up hitting. So, yeah, so all flights got canceled. Getting into Chennai and leaving Chennai, so the airport shut essentially. Saib and I were stranded in Kochi, so we ended up having to figure out what to do. So we ended up hiring a taxi to
No, no,
go to.
I'll say that story. I'll say that story because I was there. But so I thought the gig is all cancelled, and my wife is making some onion bhaji and all that. It's great weather, and Saib in middle of all this, he calls me and like, Pacha, the show is on. I'm sending you a cab with a driver. Just get inside at the top. Right here, I have to pick up Manu from somewhere, like where he's in Sam. It's like the 2 hours from my house. And it's cyclone, the trees are falling and all that. It was very adventurous, bro. I cannot forget that gig. Yeah.
Yeah,
But we
but
somehow made it.
yeah,
Played.
you made it and you played, and I hope it was a great experience for you guys.
We were discussing that as well. Even though, in spite of all of this, we made it, somehow made it happen. Two of us had to come from Kochi. We had to figure out these guys' route. They had to drive through a storm chasing them. And it was raining in Bangalore that day as well. And in spite of the rain, the crowd showed up with umbrellas and they were, grooving with us,
Yeah.
singing with us. And stage, of course, Bangalore Abad, the production is always great. So it ended up being an amazing gig after all of this that we had to go through. The stress, we didn't do any sound check, none of that, because we reached just in time to plug in, do a line check, and perform.
Yeah.
That's all we could do.
let it be known that even a storm won't stop us from playing a gig.
Shabash, shabash.
Yes. Yes, exactly, exactly. So, your latest release is the EP Jewel Tones, which is absolutely beautiful, and I will have my thoughts to share on this in a moment. But for now, tell us a little bit about Jewel Tones, what it represents for Jatayu, and the process of making it.
Who wants to answer this? I go for it. Yes.
Jewel Tones is actually a huge journey for us as a band, because these are songs we've sort of been playing from its inception, but they've evolved over time, just like how we have, and they've been recorded in different parts through the years. So you can hear that growth, I guess, in the album, of how we've evolved with our sound and just from where it was and where we are now. I think that's what personally Jewel Tones is for us. It's just like a sort of benchmark or like a step up from everything we've been doing, and now it's like a new era of Jatayu that we see going forward. We have clarity in what we're doing. So I think personally that's what Jewel Tones is for us. It's a collection of how we've evolved and grown uh, over this last 8 to 10 years.
The three songs in that album, like it's been there, like we have been playing it for quite a few years now. But the first track, Shri Mahaganapati, what is it called in our album?
The
The
A
Wicked.
lot
Wick.
of
The
the
Wicked.
Vic. Yeah. So that song is the latest addition. But the work for it, I don't know, but we worked on it like around like 2018, 2019 types, I think. It's been told the arrangements and all that. I remember jamming that song in Manu's old house. That vibe it was. But the song transformed into something over the years, and you can clearly see the difference between the other three tracks and Sri Mahaganapatham. It clearly shows how we have like transformed and understood each other, and I think we sounded like a one unit in that song. It's like blended into each other, and that song is very special to me. You know, because we have been always like moving for that oneness in the sound, and we kind of like achieved it a little bit, you know, in the first song.
I totally agree. It sounds very mature, it sounds very cohesive, and also, speaking as someone who is trained in classical singing, I mean, albeit Hindustani, not Carnatic, but I feel that this particular release has the strongest influence of Carnatic music and particularly Carnatic vocals so far. So was this a conscious thing or did that just come naturally?
It kind of came naturally, honestly, because I think throughout our like existence, I guess while we've always been focusing on original music, we have always also explored Carnatic music and Carnatic songs as part of our jam sessions, as part of sets that we've played. So we've always had a few of these Carnatic pieces, compositions as part of our thing, because we've enjoyed experimenting and taking these compositions in new directions ourselves. So
Song Sri Mahaganapatham. Sorry to interrupt you. That song, like when we guys meet, right? Manu like was deep into M.D. Ramanathan and Muthuswami Dikshidhar compositions and all that. And there is some mridangam at Manu's house, and that's how we bond. Actually, he starts singing. He'll be in his mundu and all that, having a tea, and I'll come there, and Sahib will be there. Kashyap joins sometimes, but he's too far from the city. He's quite far, so he sometimes joins in. But when we three meet, and Manu starts singing, and there'll be one Vota guitar. I still remember that guitar. And there'll be one string pad. There'll be only like three or four strings. One string will be dangling, that guitar, and a mridangam. You know. So we used to jam this Sri Mahaganapatham. It's how it started.
That's how
I
it started.
clearly have the memory of how it started.
Yeah.
And yeah, but some of these songs, he sings many of these compositions. One such song was Sri Mahaganapatham, and we thought like, and we kind of like gelled in that song beautifully. We came up with that opening riff, and he had actually it came from Sahib's arrangement. Tum, turu, dum, dum, tum, turu, because there was a phono guitar. Sahib was playing something over the 13th, 14th fret and something he was struggling at. But that's how it fell. Then it sat beautifully on the seven, and that's what inspires us. These compositions of Muthuswami Dikshidhar, especially in Carnatic music, has a huge influence on Jatayu. The slow and steady tempo of it. You know, anything you do over it, it's going to sound magical because the song is already there, well set, and we just have to like not disturb it, but build around the song.
And Manu's
Love.
also been training vocally. He's been singing quite a bit. This period, especially, he
Yeah,
was only singing. I mean,
only singing. Yeah,
that's where the vocal influence comes because when he is interested and he wants to do it, he's doing it all the time. So if you're spending some time with him, it's there constantly, it's going on, he's doing it. So he was
yeah.
working a lot on his vocal skills and practicing that. So that obviously, anything we do, like Shilu said, we are in that moment, we are enjoying it. So whatever's happening, it's organically happening and it just clicks when it's genuine and it's coming out like that. So that's what happens with Jatayu.
Lovely. So I'm curious, what does a typical writing session look like for Jatayu?
He just said it.
Yeah.
He just said it.
See, apart from the Carnatic compositions, what we do, most of the ideas generate from a interesting rhythmical ideas, like because I'm trained in Carnatic music. Like throughout my years, I've been playing mridangam. That was my first instrument also. So most of the ideas comes to me through the konakol, and most of it comes when I'm not with the instrument. So when I'm like this, like sitting in a car or driving, and suddenly some ideas come in, and I remember them, and I then play it on the guitar. I fix a raga to it. It's a very easy way of songwriting. You just have to get the rhythmical phrase. If it hits you, then it's going to become a song. So I am constantly in search of that. Uh, Once the idea, I have a rough idea. I'll immediately, if we are touring, I sing it to all the three. Whenever I find like a space, I'll just like put in the idea in their ears. So when constantly thinking about it, and when we sit together to like fix the arrangements and all that, that's when the magic happens. It's just like most of the songs, we are happy with the first whatever that comes out from that person. The idea is there. So how Sahib responds to that is lays the foundation of the song. There is a melody line, and he gives a three dimension to it, the third dimension to it. Uh, it's easier to for the drum and bass to like understand the composition and come up with their parts. It's very very organic. Nothing is forced. It's just like whatever they are reacting to the song is what becomes the song. I think we don't change much ever, but through over the years, the song evolves. With every performance, we understand how it has to be done, and we talk about it. And Macha, save me from this. Where we went into something. They save me like this, like
No worries, no worries. I can tag in here. I mean,
yeah, about the songwriting. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Oh, the songwriting. So a song comes into place, like the idea can be from anyone. When the other forces come into action, the song becomes full. That's what I feel.
Okay. Okay. Has there ever been a situation where you guys are in the where like any of you individually or any of you together are in the middle of something like very important, very crucial, and then a song idea comes into your hand and you have to immediately stop everything you're doing to like note it down or like share it? Has that ever happened with you guys?
Nothing is more important. I'm always in that zone only. Like of this is the most important work. When the idea strikes, nothing is more important to me. I have to like I go into that, like that door is opening, and I want to go inside and search what else can I get from that idea. It's constantly in my head, and I want to keep exploring that idea. Uh, so I've got ideas in weird situations, like in my 12th board exam, I'm writing and idea clicks in. And most of my exams, that's what I do. I'll be like putting column. The teacher's watching me. Oh, weird fellow.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Whenever we're hanging out, Shylu is always clapping, doing some, and he's got a melody running in his head. He's working something out. Manu is always, he'll catch what Shailu is doing and they'll try and do something together. There's always some music happening every time we meet. It's inevitable. Um, yeah, it's very much what we're thinking of all the time. Like it's hard for the music to not be in the head or the hands or whatever.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, and that is so fascinating. Okay, so what I'd like to do in this particular podcast is explore your musical career in depth, and for that, I'd like to go in reverse chronological order, like from the beginning, and work our way up to the present. So, starting with that, What were the origins of Jatayu? How did Jatayu come about?
The Jatayu, the initial stage, I think, started from my transformation from playing mridangam to the guitar. You know, so throughout my life, I think I've played Tanjira and mridangam. And when I turned 18, 19, that's when I got introduced to guitar. And whatever was rhythmical, now I was able to do it, like add a melody to it as well. And because I've like grown up in a Carnatic music family, so the raga system was more easier for me than the chord, the harmony system, the Western system basically. So I always had the melody and the rhythm sorted, but I was what to say, like more confined to Carnatic music at that time. I didn't have much of an exposure to the other forms of music. So that's when my dad was teaching at SAM, Swarnabhumi Academy of Music, and the other three members of the band are from that college. So whenever my dad used to teach there, I go to SAM and I hang out, and the exposure I got was phenomenal. Like I was listening to other forms of music and how people approach Carnatic music there, and that's how I got this connection to Sahib, to Swarnabhumi Academy of Music, because there was one more guy, my friend, who was my dad's disciple. He was doing a home residency with my dad, and we used to jam together. That's when the ideas, the initial songs of Jatayu, like 69, Moodswings, I was starting to write those songs. And I used to tell that friend, like, I need one more guy who can just understand me and like come up with the arrangements. You know, so luckily Sahib came, and right from the first 3 4 months of jamming, I somewhere knew this is the connection. And we were not serious at that time. You know how a project kickstarts. We were just like casually jamming, and we saved, let's jam, but we don't meet after 2 months. Like he's busy with his own projects and I'm doing my shit. And but once, I think after the Kappa show, we did a Music Mojo Kappa like many years back. I think it's 2016, 2017 types. We did a Music Mojo session, and it's when after that performance, something I felt very right about it. You know, like we have to build this, and we started bonding, me and myself and Saad, like every day. The meeting started becoming more and more, and we used to jam. I showed him all my ideas. He just responds. It's very natural for him, how he responds to my compositions. He doesn't think. That's what I like. He just responds to the composition, and these compositions are very rhythmically challenging, but he finds a groove in it. You know, so when there is a lot of busy calculations happening, there is a beautiful groove which makes you feel like it's 4 or 3 and makes you like groove to it. It's because of how he responds to those. So there is a balance now between the groove and the complex rhythm. When we found that thing happening, we thought like, okay, this is the band. Then we went a lot of, we tried so many musicians, and we had to send out few musicians as well. So after that, all that filtration process and all that, Manu and Kashyap came, and we just got like, we made the circle.
That's a
Yeah.
beautiful way to put it. So after Jatayu forms, you get into the making of your very first EP, which is Chango Tales. Tell us a little bit about making that first EP, your first, statement to the world about what Jatayu is.
I'll continue, but someone has to save me from the half. Okay, I'll just continue the story. The story is not at over there. So we have
The
reached,
question is at the right time.
yeah,
Chronologically, we have reached the correct period and
yeah,
you asked the correct question.
perfect
It's
question, bro.
aligning perfectly.
Hello,
Yeah.
please
Go on.
continue. Let's go.
So, so every evening, I remember there is a park in Anna Nagar. So we used to go there, play some badminton, me and Sahib, and eat some samosas and discuss about macha, what is next. Those are the best days. Those are the best days of Jatayu. So we sit in the car and we talk about it, and we don't have money. Like there is literally no money. We both were like he was a different guy. You should see him. He was like a full daddy and haram pants, and I am like a daddy daddy model. Like so, we were different guys back then. But we had this fire in us. Like the project we got it done. But how do we proceed further? You know. So I have a wife who works and she has a stable income. You know, I have to give it to Kamya because she started saving and all that. And I had a bit of like I did some Europe tour and all that at the time with other project, and I saved a little bit of money. And whatever I made, like 5-6 lakhs, I saved. I've just put it on that Chango Tales album. You know, something like that has to kickstart, isn't it, bro? What are the use than just being happy with the music we make? Something like that has to be out, and that's how the Chango Tales kickstarted. How many songs?
Yeah,
Five
yeah, yeah.
songs. Five old songs of. I think Pari was the most recent one at that time. The other songs, Shringara, Mood Swings wasn't there. Sorry about that.
Chango,
My memory is bad, bro.
Shingara,
So
Chango,
Didn't put it in
Padi,
the album.
yeah.
Just didn't put it in the album at that time.
yeah. So we just like selected 5 songs and we made a story out of it. And how do we package this 5 songs? Because it's instrumental. You know, people have no context of what we are doing. It's just random 5 songs. But we wanted not to do that. And we built a story around a character named Chango. And it's her life, basically. That's how. And the ragas and the mood of the song also goes well with the storyline what we formed. And it was the idea of Django, but we had mad fun recording that album. Is a great memory. Like we I went to the Crimson, I guess. Drums was at the corner house. Corner house has to be mentioned here. They were our saviors. They just believed the sound, and they gave us the studio for free at that time. You know, like to
They
track the
were,
drums,
they were
and we
great.
had no money. Like, they know the story of Jatayu and Manu. Manu was very close with those friends there, and they just gave the studio for free to record drums, and whatever money was left, we wanted to track the guitars properly this time, and we went to the Crimson and the amp. It was all very new to me, at least, because in Carnatic music, people don't care about how it sounds, yeah, all that. You know, they just want to sing. But here, everything was taken care of. How it has to be sounded properly to bring the complete impact of like 4 people playing. You know, how do we bring it sonically, record format? It was total fun recording that album. And much of
There was some
what about Holger and all that?
there were some great stories from the recording process as well. Like for Miyai, we managed to somehow meet these two Swiss musicians traveling through Chennai and Pondi and stuff. And we met up for a jam. We jammed one of their songs, and one of our songs, and we loved what they did on one of our songs so much. And we had just finished tracking guitars on that song, so we kind of just asked if they would come in and track their parts for us, like maybe track some stuff for us. And instantly they agreed. And the next day we managed to find 2 hours in the studio that were free, and we just quickly got it done. It was one of the most surreal experiences I've had in the studio. The way it just happened, the way it just flowed, it was just great. They were just so good. This is Kronflast from May I, the people we collaborated with, the violinist and the bass clarinet player.
Holger's part in this, I think, Kashyap, you have to mention about that. You know the best. Holger,
And
how
Yeah,
he changed Pari and Django.
So it's like Shiloh said, it's a very cinematic album. It has a theme behind it. So we definitely wanted strings, we wanted an orchestra to sort of accentuate those feelings and emotions through the whole story. And that's where we found Holger from, I mean, right now he's from Orville, originally from Germany, I think, or Holland, I'm not sure. But he settled in Orville for the last 20 plus years. Amazing musician, amazing composer, arranger. He plays it all, double bass, upright, cello, violin, viola. He does it all. He was an orchestrator, I think, if I'm not wrong. So basically, we took these two songs to him. Pari, which is uh, sort of devastating in the story. In the story, it's about the character going through certain abuse. And then Chango, which is the acceptance phase of the story, which is the end. So we explained it to him, and he was just like, "Tell me what it's about." We gave him a small brief, and then in a few days, he sent us just so many ideas, so many things that just fit right into the track. It was beautiful, just the way he brought it, and the sound was so fresh for us, working with someone like Holger. So that's why we love collaboration. We love collaborators. They bring in a fresh perspective in our music, which keeps it exciting for us. Yeah,
Beautiful,
that was
beautiful.
Japanese.
I mean, I cannot imagine a better start to, someone's discography than this. It sounds like a beautiful experience. But unfortunately, as history tells us, everyone's momentum got stopped by the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. So how did the pandemic and the initial wave of the pandemic affect you guys and your plans back then?
I mean, we had just released our first EP. We did our first tour, India tour. We were just kicking things off for Jatayu. Jatayu was just sort of taking off, just learning to take off. It was there, and we were just putting things together. And a second tour was organized in 2020, which was supposed to lead into a tour of Nepal, and we were branching out to new territories in 2020. That was the plan. And 2020 Jan, Feb, we started off with our tour. We did 3, 4 cities, and we had to cut it short halfway. I think March is when the lockdowns happened in 2020. We were in the middle of our tour when all of this news. We were in Kolkata. It was crazy. In Kolkata, we were staying in a hostel, and we heard about all of this virus being spread and all of that, and we were panicking. We were like, "Are we going to get home? What is happening?" So uh, we were bang in the middle of our tour when this hit us. So it
We were
literally,
supposed to go to Nepal, isn't it?
yeah, all Nepal. So we were literally
I was
on tour.
in the year we
It
had a few more
it just
gigs.
came to a standstill. So yeah, that just killed our momentum right there because uh, we didn't know what to do. I mean, of course, the whole world didn't know what to do. Everybody was in that situation then.
Yes.
But we were figuring things out, and we felt like things just started working for us. Um, but of course, now looking back, I think it was important for us also to take that break because it gave us a better idea of who we are and what we need to do and where we need to look at. So that gave us some time to do some research about where how we can take this to the next level, what will work better for us, which market is better. That really gave us some perspective and some gave us time to put some thought into this project properly. So I think it was good in a way for Jatayu to have that short break. Um,
Also, we wrote like a couple of songs during that time, like Topai Vibes and Restless, I guess.
Mm.
yeah.
Those ideas came during and I remember sending it. Like we did a video also on Instagram, I guess. I saw it many years, like many months back. I saw that.
Yeah, yes,
I
yes.
mean,
It was themed around like being stuck at home, and I think like all the footage is just like of like each of you guys
Exactly. Yeah.
individually, like, doing whatever in front of the camera that you could do while being stuck in your homes.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
we could do.
So, and I assume that renewed perspective that you mentioned directly flowed into Mood Swings, which is your next EP.
Moodswings again was a collection of old songs that we had already, which we hadn't released. So we took COVID as a period where we could learn. So, like Shiloh said, we invested a lot in the first EP, and we didn't have that money to do it all the time. It was one chunk of savings that he had to kickstart this whole project. So then we had to learn how to do it ourselves. Everybody had a home studio. So that was a good learning period for us to figure out production and how we want to play with our sounds without having to spend so much. Because the songs were already there, arrangements were already there. We just had to figure out how to get the recordings done. So that's what we did. We learned a lot about producing everything ourselves, reducing costs, and releasing an album. And also organizing our first show. We organized it ourselves in Chennai. It was at half capacity. We sold out because of COVID. Again, this was just before the second lockdown. So even we managed to squeeze in album launch before the second lockdown as well. Uh, but yeah, that's what led to the second EP.
Yeah, I mean, the common theme that I'm getting here is that, a lot of your recorded material so far is you guys working through old ideas that you had created, but which you didn't have the resources to put on track.
Pretty much the first couple of releases was that, but not all of it is that. Majority of Chango Tales was that, but one song was something that was written just before we tracked the album. I think May I was something that.
May I was new when we were tracking
So there
Chango.
are chunks which are old. I mean, from our previous few releases, majority chunks are old songs which we hadn't recorded. Then there were songs that came just as we were traveling. Tope Vibes was that COVID, during COVID there was something.
We
And
singles as well. Every time
through
we come up with a
through
new.
the whole period of us touring, we've written a whole new bunch of songs which haven't even been released yet.
Yeah.
And
Which
we
we
haven't
have been.
jammed all that much also, honestly, like we've written them, but we haven't like played them together to kind of lock everything and all of that stuff. Because I think even the last couple of years, it's been a little tough for the four of us to be able to meet with Manu's teaching schedule and with Shailu traveling with all of us caught up with our own lives and stuff for the last couple of years. Manu had a baby, Shailu has his kids and all that stuff. So there's just been a period where we weren't able to meet to jam together, make music together, and all of that stuff. But the ideas kept flowing. The ideas were always there. Every time we'd meet for a rehearsal, for a gig or something that did happen over the years, there were always new ideas coming up, and we just didn't have the time to kind of explore these things further. So this year, the plan is to kind of um, dive back in and make a lot of music, essentially. You know.
And it's good to have such like songs in the bank, you know, so we can wait for the right moment, and because that's how we came up with No Visa Needed, you know. It's great. We waited for and we got a terrific pianist, Taku, to play in that song, and how that song like ended up being like that. You know, it's I never even thought it's going to have a pianist play in that. And Wild
Yes,
Kids, the
yes, I
song
have to
Wild
say,
Kids.
yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I have to say, out of all the collaborators you have had in your music, Taku is by far my favorite. His part
Yeah.
in the song is so beautiful.
No, it's just one take, bro. Can you believe it? He just heard it
Wow,
and just he played it.
that's amazing.
And that
And
song,
And
the live was much better. You know, we played that at Fuji Rock with Taku, and the live feel was like just extraordinary experience. That was to play that song live for the first time with the original collaborator.
yeah.
You know, so it's good to have these ideas and wait for the right moment and give it to them.
true, true. And that is the perfect segue to my next question because after the pandemic settled down, you guys went on an absolute tear, according to my research. So, Shailu, like you said, Fuji Rock in Japan. Then you guys played the Wonder Fruit Festival in Thailand, if I'm not wrong. Then you played in Taiwan and Singapore. And unbelievably, the Reunion Islands. So for those of our listeners who are not aware, the Reunion Islands is a small island which is a French territory deep in the middle of the Indian Ocean off the coast of Madagascar, and which I'm not even sure a lot of people can point on a map. I mean, I couldn't even point it on a map before I researched this. So,
Bro, have you
how
seen heaven? Bro, have you seen heaven? You have to be there. Reunion Islands it is.
it's that beautiful, is it?
Man, I have never seen anything like that in my life, bro. I'm just fortunate I was able to go there. And I was fortunate to go there with Jatayu. You know, the experience of just being so close to nature. It's just ocean everywhere. It's the first time I'm in middle of mighty fucking ocean, and it's blue everywhere and different shades of blue, and it's all musicians there, and we great show that night, and understood how nature influences you, inspires you to play like that.
And it's not only the yeah, of course there's your it's an island, you're surrounded by water, but it's also it's a volcanic island, active volcano there. So the topography, all the stones, the soil, everything's different, and it used to be a slave island back in the day. So it's a hub of people from China, from Australia, from India, Sri Lanka, Africa. Um, so it's a massive cultural hub. So music and culture, it's all been mixed. All of these cultures have been mixed, and only beauty comes out of it. Everybody is so happy, is so vibrant, is so rich, and full of life. By rich, I mean not financial rich, they're just rich with life, and it oozes out of them and it inspires us. Even we were there, and it showed in our performance, and the energy we got from them, the love we received from everybody there. Oh, just the whole experience is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah.
What was it like touring all the other countries that we mentioned, like Japan, Thailand, Taiwan, and Singapore? What was that experience like?
Want to go back, bro, to these places again.
Once is not. So technically, the first place that we played abroad was Malaysia way back in 2017, but we don't really like to count that gig because, it was not the greatest experience. But then more recently, right after the pandemic, we went to the first place we played was Thailand, and we played at this place called Speaker Box in Bangkok, and that was, I think, the first time we were playing to a non-Indian crowd or a predominantly non-Indian crowd, and I think we were feeling a little awkward, uh, it being our first time playing abroad and all of that stuff, with our more developed sound, and I think it took that gig for us to get a little bit more comfortable to playing to anybody, because the gigs after that we were feeling a lot more comfortable because we kind of gauged how they were responding to what we were doing and stuff, and they were like, I don't know how to place this, like how do I understand this music, because I think it was something that they'd never heard before, but it was eventually they started getting into the vibe of the gig and the music. But that first gig was a little awkward, but after that, every crowd we've played to has been just so open and so receptive, and we started doing the audience engagement thing as well around that time with the taka takita and all of that stuff, and we'd see how this international crowd, this mixed crowd, would just fully embrace it and just fully engage and just participate and give us so much energy to feed off of when we play.
But out of all the countries, that was the question, Dakasha. I think if out of all the countries we played, don't count in Japan was next level. Japan is the, I think every human has to go there and experience Japan. And we playing the biggest show in Japan was like just fortunate, thank God. But the uh, the country which changed and got us a new shape would be Taiwan, because we went there for the first time and we were just like street hopping and all that. We found one music shop and we found this new instrument which I purchased. It's called Inuk. Uh, I came across that instrument. I played it in the shop, and it was magical. And there was only one piece left, and I didn't have money because you have to extend. Their currency is different, and the shop was about to be closed or something. The shopkeeper gave us like 30 minutes. Figure out if you want it. Then somehow we got the money. I asked my wife if she transferred some money. We went to the ATM and I got the instrument. But, you know, it's what like made us go to Taiwan the next time, but with a complete different color. The first time we went there, it was a heavy, Jatayu sound. It's heavy. But the second time we went there, we went with a totally different setup. It was all acoustic instruments. I was playing nylon. I was playing the Kashyap on the acoustic bass and all that. It was like the side of Jatayu, which I think without Taiwan, we wouldn't discover that part of us. Uh, uh, so Taiwan is very, very special in that case. And Singapore. Singapore is the gateway which made us play these important festivals. The ASEAN Music Festival, those guys there, Pai, like the support they showed us, and we were just at the right moment. We got selected to play there. And you know how the time, they say, நேரம் வந்தா எல்லாமே கரெக்டா வரும்னு சொல்லுவா தமிழ். The நேரம், you have to be there at the right place at the right time. And when we played ASEAN, and those guys were like mind blown. And it was the first time I think we played outside India, apart from the Malaysia before. Actually play. Uh, and that experience of how those people, not the Indian crowd, I'm saying the people outside India, how they are actually responding to us, and what is the power we have created. Every time in India, that's the problem. You play. Of course, there are some great crowd we have played before, some amazing crowd. But majority, if they don't understand something in India, they just mock or they put it down. You know, it's all been done in Carnatic music. The score by only, Okay, well, then why don't you start something like this? It's not that easy to create a project out of Carnatic music and the other, and have a perfect blend of these styles. You know, but those people are just open. They are listening first, like what is happening. They just don't dismiss it off because they don't understand it. They are more receptive. They're open. We can genuinely see it on their faces, and the love they show in response to it. It's very new music to them. But they're being more receptive, and they're open to new sounds, and they are encouraging, and that's what makes us go to these places more often and play before them. You know. Then
Wonderful.
if you give me like the option of playing a biggest festival in India or one remote part of Japan, one small village to play, I think we all will choose the Japan. That crowd is enough for us. Little crowd, it's fine. But the happiness we see in their faces as we perform, unfortunately, I have never experienced that in India. You know, the genuine
Wow.
happiness and that in their face, in their eyes, that's the energy we want. Every show will fucking kill it if you give us that energy from that. You know, that's what we
Oh,
look forward to.
awesome.
I think
Awesome.
that's the main difference between performing in India and anywhere outside of India from our experience is, as you can tell by what you've heard from Shiloh's stories, and they put their trust in you completely. They're open to whatever you give them. Even the people in Taiwan, we had never performed an acoustic set, but he said it's fine, we trust you. You figure
Yeah.
something out, come with an acoustic set, we'll book you. They paid for everything, handle everything. They just put their trust in us blindly because they come there openly and they see what we are doing, and they appreciate the things we are doing in our music, and they see potential, they see what we can do, so they just blindly put their trust in us, and they're like, come, that's how every performance is internationally. For any festival you go, any performance, they just blindly come, put all of their trust. They trust you to take them on a ride, take them wherever you are going, and because of that trust we feel so empowered. And it's a great feeling to have that exchange. It's You connect with somebody just purely through music, so it's a very very special and pure feeling.
Wow, that's awesome. And I'm so glad that you guys got to experience that faith and trust at those shows. And, speaking of Japan, I mean, I saw a teaser for your video documenting your experience in Japan, but couldn't find that video anywhere. Is it out yet?
It's not yet out. We had a small snag with the release, but it is ready. It will be out soon.
Cool, cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it after all your stories now, definitely. And all of those tours, the international tours and also the Indian tours and your Indian shows. Uh, what did you learn about touring from those shows? Not only as musicians, but also from the financial and logistical perspective, because that is a perspective I'm very interested to hear from independent bands.
About all of the shows, or you're talking about
No,
Japan?
about touring in general. What did all those shows like teach you guys about touring and making it possible from a financial and logistical perspective?
So I realized that from the very first tour I organized for us back in 2019. Uh, that was, I mean, the first EP was when I actually thought, okay, guys, we need some management, we need somebody to, sort of lead this and take this forward. So I sort of took up that role, and that's when I realized I organized our first tour after the EP release, and it was great. We didn't lose money. All of us made a little bit of money and went home. And I was like, we can do this ourselves. Why do we need a label? Why do we need somebody else to come and do help us out with this? We don't really need help. It just needs a little bit organization, a little management skills, logistics, and you're good. You can do this if you make good deals, make good decisions. Not always will you make money, but you have to balance things out with money and taking your career and your band forward. So these are things that I learned managing the band as an independent artist, which I think every independent artist should do and learn for themselves what works for you, for your music, how do you push it, and how do you make this a lifestyle for you? How do you make a living out of this? It is very important for every independent artist to do this once at least.
Do the rest of you guys have any input?
I think we are a little with the tours that we've done. We've not really taken a massive crew with us. Um, for any of these major gigs that we've done, the equipment that we've taken with us is our guitars and our pedal boards, and Manu's cymbals and maybe his snare or his kick pedal or something. So uh, in terms of logistics, it's been more about us just making sure that we are as close to our weight limit as possible. So we'd of course end up having to pay for excess baggage and stuff, but we are not shipping any equipment. So we haven't dealt with those kind of logistical things yet. But touring, it's about being prompt, it's about being on time, it's about respecting the event's schedule, it's about being accommodative, and you get what you give back in spades. The hospitality that we've received has just been incredible, right? So I think our experiences with touring is something that's kind of unique to us because we've always just tried to figure things out ourselves and like deal with it. That's why our social media is only is fairly mediocre at best. Like none of us are particularly keen on dealing with social media, but it's not really something we've wanted to outsource all that much either. We've always tried to do things DIY. Even especially after our first EP, even recording has become DIY. You know, everything about us has always been DIY. So we've always just kind of figured out a way to navigate whatever we opportunities we're able to open up for ourselves. And one, not every rejection is going to stop at just that. You can make something happen out of a rejection for a gig, as Sahib would attest, because he is the one that's been, dealing with all of this stuff, like sending out emails, pitching Jatayu, pitching for festivals, pitching for gigs, pitching for to event organizers and all of that stuff. So he's the one that's been dealing with all of it and facing the bulk of it. And just yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. And getting a little deeper into this, a little away from the tour side and now in the band side. In this day and age of not only like social media, like keep getting the word out on social media, but also like you said, you guys are also geographically separated and busy with your own lives and your own projects. What does it take to maintain a band like Jatayu and keep it together and keep that momentum going and have your name in people's minds in this current climate?
These are two separate things. One is internal and one is external. Keeping the band going is internal. Four of us have to be on the same page. We need to have one goal. We need to all work towards that goal, and only if it aligns with everybody's goals will you stay together. It's not very easy for four guys to just come together and stay together and keep doing this for 10 years. That lays the foundation to the longevity of a band. The longer a band stays together, the more successful it is. That's all there is. The Beatles were knocking on doors for 10 years before they got their first big hit. So any band, if you look at it, they have to stay together for it to be successful. So that is the internal thing. And how to keep the second part you asked was how to keep your
Yeah,
name out.
how to keep the word out about the band and have people following you and anticipating your music and following your music.
So this, like Kashyap mentioned, social media is not what we do, marketing is not what we do. We are musicians at our core, and music is what we do. So this element, I remember we used to break our head over this a lot. But then I realized we are good at something, and I'm going to put my time and effort into that. Of course, we need to get our name out there, but you have to figure out your own way of getting your name out there. If your strength lies in social media, then that's what you use to get it out there. But our strength lies in live performance. So we use live performance to get our name out there. And this is something I discovered again through this process of trial and error and understanding what works for us, what doesn't work for us. And what has really worked for us is live performance. That is our biggest pitch deck, biggest sales pitch is our live performance. And whatever we invest into our live performance, we have always got it back, whether it's financially, whether it's personally, whatever, to inspire us, whatever it is, we have got it back from live performance. So, yeah, that's where we keep investing in, and that's how we get our name out there as well.
Fantastic. I mean, that is very refreshing to hear that, at least one band that I've talked to in this podcast so far doesn't really feel the need to, jump through hoops and do like tips and tricks on social media. It's a very old school thing when you think about it, that your live performances are the selling point, the draw.
But I mean, don't get me wrong, you still have to do that.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
don't compromise your originality for it. Don't try to be someone else just to do that. You have to. We live in an age today where you have to do these things. I'm not saying
Mm.
don't do it, but do it in a way where it's original to you and you understand your strengths and weaknesses basically. And if it's working for you, great.
Right, right. Especially in an age where, we are being told that in order to get like really popular and like reach an audience, especially on the music side, all of your music has to fit into this sort of pre-packaged deal where it has to be like suitable for reels, and your song should hit in like the first 3 to 1 second, which is like extremely like kind of dystopian when you think about it. And in the face of all that, I mean, Jatayu seems like almost antithetical to that approach, and yet you've managed to garner the audience that you have.
Yeah, we are everything you mentioned, we are anti that. We
Yeah.
fight, we fight with vigor. How do you say, to be against this, to prove this idea wrong. So we will fight it. Even if we are wrong, we hate it. We hate this, so we will fight it, do our best to not fit into this template. From day one of us starting, we have decided that we are doing what is true to us and what we enjoy. It might be selfish, but it is what is genuine for us. So we are not going to fall into any of these skip haptics and whatever these data analysis
Skip.
tools are. Yeah,
Word
whatever
fire.
these data analysis tools are, we don't fall for it. If I don't mind hiring a marketing team and asking them to do this for us, but we are going to create what is original to us. And if they gotta tweak it and push it how they want, it's their problem. We will create at the end of the day what we feel is true and original to us.
And that's why we're
Awesome.
independent also, we don't have to answer to anybody except the four of us. And that's what gives us the freedom to do this. All of us are of a similar mind when it comes to social media and making music that sounds like it's from a factory line of production or whatever. None of us really want any of this. So yeah.
Definitely, I can totally understand that. And when I look at Jatayu right now, and when I look at the wider music scene, it seems to me that we're in a golden age of bands, a golden age of fusion, and fusing the Indian and the Western, where there are like so many bands doing that. Like, of course, you have the big names like Agam and Taikudam Bridge, and you also like in my personal experience, there are loads of bands that are getting inspired and starting to do this also, like Panchabhuta, Ahim Vishwan Project, and all of those folks, where they're no longer restrained by aping Western bands, but they have more courage to bring in the Indian influences and make it sound more unique. So how does it feel for you guys to be a part of that movement?
I don't think there's a movement as such. There's always been fusion from the
Mm,
60s, 70s. The fusion has always existed.
mm.
It's just how it comes out. It's through the personnel you bring in and what they have experienced in their lives. These are boxes that we put it in, this genre with this genre, and how we put it together. It's just things for us to be able to sell this music. End of the day, it's human connection. It's two, three, four, five different humans coming together, and whatever influences they have, it will, if they are genuine about it, it will flow out of them genuinely. That's what we believe. So we believe there's fusion in everything, and the fact that there are more projects involving the Indian element, with different things, shows that people are not afraid of uh, catering to these boxes, like you said. Just do what is genuine, what you grew up with, what we grew up listening to in our house. That's what will come out in our music. That's what's genuine. So I'm glad that people are being more authentic about who they are and where they come from, and that's a great thing for original independent music.
Lovely, lovely. I completely agree. The rest of you guys have any thoughts on this?
Well, the concept of fusion has been there like in the 19th century or 18th century. I think Dikshidhar again did like you were inspired by the English bands. playing right before his house, and he came up with Jati Swaram, also a notice for us, a set of composition inspired by the English music, you know. So it's always been there, the fusion. But I think both the styles, if done right, blends in beautifully. You have to wait, you have to get that sweet spot. And if you think you've got the sweet spot, then that's your project.
Lovely, lovely. So, what's next on the cards for Jatayu right now? What are you working on? What can we look forward to from you guys in the future?
We have some, like we've already discussed, we have a lot of new music, new collaborators, which we'll put out slowly, eventually, whenever we can. The documentary is coming out soon. That'll give everyone a glimpse into our journey to Japan. It's beautiful. I mean, personally, it's something that's uh, very personal to us. So um, that's a great thing that we're going to be putting out. And then touring, we're going to be touring quite a bit. We've been a little inactive last year, but this year we have some big touring plans which we'll be announcing soon as well. So yeah, watch out. Got a lot in
Yep.
plan for 26. Yesterday at our gig is actually this is what I mentioned because 2 years ago we performed in Chennai, and that gig was to celebrate us getting booked for Fuji Rock. And then it ended up being we went to Fuji Rock and then we went to Taiwan and Reunion Island, Wonderfruit. We toured a lot in the last 2 years, and this feels like one of those moments where we have to perform in Chennai, and then we take off and do a lot more things. So I feel like that momentum is coming together now, and it's going to lead to great things for us this year.
Lovely, lovely. I can't wait to see all of it, and I'll be keeping a close eye for a Bangalore date as well to catch
We're
you guys
coming.
live again.
We're coming very soon.
Wait, yeah.
Maybe in 2 weeks or a week we'll be there.
Okay, if we're talking about next weekend, then unfortunately I'll be out of the city. I'll be in Coimbatore for a friend's
Cancel that,
wedding.
bro. No, cancel and come to this.
My friend is gonna kill me for that. I'm sorry. Plus, I'm looking forward to the Coimbatore biryani also. That may be more attractive.
Coimbatore known for biryani. Is it? I've never heard Coimbatore biryani.
Anyway, it's Bangalore. We'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Oh, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Okay, so before I let you guys go, I've got a little game to play with you guys. This is a recurring segment on the podcast that we ask all our artists. This is kind of like a rapid fire round of questions. I'm going to ask you some interesting questions and you give me some answers. This is connected to Jatayu and everything you've done so far. So, are you ready?
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. When and where was your very first gig as Jatayu?
As this
With
piece,
this lineup,
yeah, I guess Malaysia, or I
no,
mean, with
not
just
Malaysia.
four of us, B flat maybe after the EP launch. B flat was our first gig, which is no longer there now in Bangalore. I mean, it's
Oh
back.
man.
It's gone.
Now you're making me a little bit sad and missing B flat right now. But the humming tree is coming back, you know.
It is, yes. We shall.
Okay. Okay. Favorite and least favorite song from your catalog?
So least favorite is Salad Days. And most favorite right now is No Visa Needed.
Lovely. Lovely. Next, most underrated song from your catalog, the song which
Good
you feel
songs.
deserves more attention. All the songs.
I
I
would
think
say
um,
Tope vibes for me, Kashyap.
top. Yeah, we haven't played that though.
But it's in a catalog which doesn't get the love that it deserves, I feel. Because I love it personally, I love the song. But yeah, we haven't played it live as well, so it's on us to to play it live.
Topai vibes it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next, favorite and least favorite part of playing live.
Lugging around gear is the least favorite thing.
Agreed.
Around gear and luggage is the least favorite thing.
The improvisations are the best part of playing live.
Yeah. The connection that we can form between ourselves and the crowd, nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Lovely, lovely. Next question, and feel free to be as careful about answering this as you want to be. Favorite and least favorite venue you've ever played?
That's a tough one because venues come in different shapes and forms, right? Like
So when you
Fuji.
say venue, it's specifically venue, not a festival.
So venue, like a bar or a type of
Like a
thing.
Venue,
live
I think it's
performance.
fandom. Fandom, I think
Least
it's not.
favorite.
But it was a good place, but I don't think it's a great
Mm.
place now to perform.
The
No.
last gig we played there was actually not too great.
Yeah.
In terms of sound and our experience on stage and stuff, it
The
wasn't nice.
best place is Delhi Piano Man, the small one.
Safdarjung, the
Of
old.
the jump.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's a good place to play. The intimate vibe. Yeah, I like that place.
Okay, all right. And I've got to say, I'm not at all surprised by the fandom response. You're not alone in thinking that. But best wishes to fandom, though.
Yeah, I mean it's been great. It's just that the management has gone on and off. So hopefully, I think now there's a new management. So hopefully we
Yeah.
see some improvements in the space.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Next, if you had to pick one song with which to introduce someone to Jatayu for the very first time, which song would you pick?
I would ask them to come for a live show.
Yeah.
That's the great answer. Yeah.
I actually don't send anybody Jatayu songs.
Yeah.
I send them just like,
Ticketing link we send.
yeah, come to us.
Oh wow, that is a very unique answer that I haven't gotten on the podcast so far. Lovely, lovely. Hey, next, if you could pick one TV show or movie to feature Jatayu's music in, which TV show or movie would you pick?
Good question.
I think it'll be Dune.
Mm.
Hmm, interesting.
Some futuristic. I think we'll do a good job. We have to write for Rajinikanth's movie. You know.
Yeah.
That is, I think Shiloh's always wanted to do that,
Yeah.
like an entry, Rajini entry song.
Imagine Rajini and we see தலைவர்னா, I don't know. Yeah.
So Basha, in Basha you wrote it.
Basha, of course, yeah, Basha. Annamalai brought this song.
Annamalai.
You know, yeah, Dune plus Rajnikant seems to be the perfect way for me to describe your vibe, dude. I'm.
Actually, yeah, makes sense.
Rajini was acting in Dune.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, Rajnikant doing his signature, like, his sunglasses move in the desert, like. Okay. Next question. I realize this may be a bit difficult for you guys to pick, but which artist or band is your biggest influence?
Oh, that's tough. Because each of us
For
have.
me, this personally, I think everyone has their own choices. But for me, it was Mahavishnu Orchestra and Shakti.
Okay. What about the rest of you guys? Any different responses?
I think Beatles is like the all-time favorite band for me, and but I think in terms of my playing and my musicality, I'll draw influences from bands like Hiatus or bass players like Yannick Wisdala, and it's a whole variety of neo soul to funk to jazz to.
Achha, it's rapid fire, da.
No worries, no worries. Sahib, what about you?
I mean, it's a tough question to answer. There is no one artist.
Yeah.
Of course, if you pick it that way, like Kashyap said, in our formative years is where those artists really stick and inspire you. So yeah, of course, Beatles, there's Led Zeppelin, Floyd, Rage Against the Machine, and there's a whole bunch of artists from that era and current era. I'm still listening to new artists and being inspired by artists. So I definitely can't pinpoint any one artist, but you will hear it in the music that we put out. You will hear them in the songs.
Okay. Speaking of Rage Against the Machine, did any of you guys go to the recent Tom Morello show?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
So
that I wanted
missed
to
it.
couldn't make it. I think we were
Um,
at a gig around the same time or something.
Yeah.
uh, that's a shame because that was an amazing show. I wish you guys could have been there to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting back into it, if you could meet one band or artist who is your inspiration and thank them personally for inspiring you, who would you pick?
Mark
Bobby
Knopfler.
Hancock. Oh,
How can
macha.
you answer that
Yeah.
question? Like, honestly.
I said the first name that came to my head as soon as you said it. So it's Mark Knopfler for me.
I think it's the same, bro. I would rate Herbie and Mark Knopfler my two eyes, and John McLaughlin my third eye.
One by one, they'll come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
There are
can't.
too many. That's why I just said the first name and let's move on. Next.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah,
First name is Beatles. First name is Beatles for me.
clearly. Very good.
Okay. Okay. Next question. Who is always early to the jam room for jamming and who is always late?
Kashyap Jaishankar.
I'm always early, and all these guys are always late. I have
Yeah,
even
Manu da.
shut up, Shylu. You're
Macha,
just
I
as
have a
bad.
screenshot of reaching at 1 p.m. exactly.
Like one time.
For me.
Congrats.
So it's the latest. Yeah, Manu, what to say? Always late, and Kashyap always on time.
Except for
If
today's.
it's late, I'm always on time.
Shots.
I will die on this hill.
First rock artist you remember falling in love with.
Asteroids.
What about the rest of you guys?
Led Zepp, Beatles.
That's very difficult question, actually.
Sahib, what about you?
I'm trying to think of the first artist I heard was probably AC/DC that got me interested in this.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
rock.
Oh, ACDC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because my brother was listening to, elder brother was listening to a lot of music, and he's like 6.5 years older than me. So there was constantly, he was playing a lot of different artists that he was into when I was at that age, right? So it's hard for me to remember one name, but all the names that everybody's been throwing around is what was kind of playing around me at that time. So to pick one, the first song is very difficult.
Yeah, you know what? I totally get it. Maybe it's just like my thing because I have a very distinct memory of the very first, metal song I ever heard. So when I was 14 years old, I got these two CDs from my uncle, and one of them was a red CD, and I popped it in, and the opening notes of Iron Maiden's "Number of the Beast" started playing. And the moment Bruce Dickinson's scream came in, I was like, whoa, what is this? you know so it's sometimes memories like that tend to stick with you, which is why I'm curious to hear if all the artists I talk to have memories like that.
I have it with some artists, not with like my oldest, like not with. I think Hiatus. The first time I heard Hiatus, I distinctly remember that moment. But for other styles of music, I don't really have that aha moment or whatever.
Okay, okay, fair enough. Out of all the collaborators Jatayu has ever worked with,
Collaborators.
which collaborator is your favorite or most memorable?
All good.
Okay, okay. So Olger, and who did you mention? Someone from Taiwan?
Putad
Utad.
Nikai. We did
Okay.
a song called Wild Kids with her, and we toured with her and her band as well when we were in Taiwan. Amazing musician, amazing performer, and amazing vocalist. Same, just like Taku, she joined us on stage and she was locked in. She
She's
was
a
great.
natural. She can
Yeah,
just kill it on stage as well. She's a
lot of
terrific
fun playing
performer.
with a great friend, great person to hang out with. Amazing person.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Next. Dream artist you would love to collaborate with, whom you haven't collaborated with yet.
I can't think of a specific artist, but I'd love to play with a koto player, somebody that plays the koto, the Japanese string instrument.
Oh, okay. Okay. What about the rest of you guys?
I want to do a song with Vikku Vinayakaran. He's very underrated, I would say, though he has got a global recognition. But I think he is a terrific percussionist from Chennai, you know, and who, of course, was a part of Shakti. And he's turning very old also, but I want one song to have a Gatam coming in. We did one track with Gatam recently in the previous album, but I think Vikku is great.
Saib, what about you?
I would ideally had like to collaborate with a lot of people because everybody bring in their own element. But yeah, maybe right now it'll be interesting to have View for Kature with Jatayu.
Hmm.
It'll be very interesting to see three guitars
Yeah.
uh, in the Jatayu and another guitar heavy element. I think it'll be really nice.
Oh, lovely, lovely. And last question. Dream gig you would love to perform at? This could be a festival, this could be supporting another artist. Dream gig.
Montreux Jazz Fest, maybe.
I think that's the only one that's coming to my head as a potential dream gig per se, because I don't view gigs like any stage it has the potential, to be a great gig, regardless of size of crowd. At least that's how it's been in our experiences so far. So I don't think I have one dream gig. Maybe like
Maybe
a garden kind of big stadium gig or something would be cool. I don't know.
for me,
Hmm.
I would probably say Tiny Desk would be a
Sure.
nice dream gig.
Oh, nice. Dude, you guys would look and sound so good in a Tiny Desk concert, man.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that would be a nice gig to play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's put the energy out there. NPR, Tiny Desk, NPR, Tiny Desk. Come on.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. So, guys, we are at the end of our time here. Thank you so much for your time and energy today. I This conversation has been amazing for me today, and I hope it has been as entertaining and insightful for you as well.
Yes,
thanks
yes.
for
Thank you
having
so
us,
much.
man. It was lovely. It was great to actually go back and see what we have done.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
haven't done this in some time, I guess, to just like think about those beautiful days. Thanks for like this podcast. Really loved it. I think I spoke a little too much, but I was excited. These questions got me excited.
Oh, please. That's what the entire format is for. I mean, if we were in person, believe me, I would keep as much time for you guys as possible. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, everyone, thank you so much for listening to and watching this podcast. Follow Jatayu on all the social media platforms. Hear all their music on streaming or wherever you may get it, especially the latest EP, Jewel Tones. Keep an eye out for their future activities and music. And if you like this podcast, like, share, comment, subscribe, press all the necessary buttons, and we'll see you soon.